in the morning. Let's speak from our hearts, heal our wounds, and build Mama Liberia for good. Truth-telling is the bedrock of good journalism. Straight from the heart on Sky 107.1 is that platform you can rely on for credible, undiluted, and unbiased analysis. It is thought-provoking. It speaks nothing but the truth to whoever is involved. Our presenters remain impartial and are only interested in truth-telling. The program comes your way Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 o'clock in the morning. Let's speak from our hearts, heal our wounds, and build Mama Liberia for good. Truth-telling is the bedrock of good journalism. Straight from the heart on Sky 107.1 is that platform you can rely on for credible, undiluted, and unbiased analysis. It is thought-provoking. It speaks nothing but the truth to whoever is involved. Our presenters remain impartial and are only interested in truth-telling. The program comes your way Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 o'clock in the morning. Let's speak from our hearts, heal our wounds, and build Mama Liberia for good. Truth-telling is the bedrock of good journalism. Straight from the heart on Sky 107.1 is that platform you can rely on for credible, undiluted, and unbiased analysis. It is thought-provoking. It speaks nothing but the truth to whoever is involved. Our presenters remain impartial and are only interested in truth-telling. The program comes your way Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 o'clock in the morning. Let's speak from our hearts, heal our wounds, and build Mama Liberia for good.
Wake up, Mama Liberia. Wake up, Mama Liberia. Mama Liberia. Wake up, Mama Liberia. Liberia, wake up. Liberia, wake up and pray. Mama people, can't you hear the song? Can't you see the shining sun? You've been sleeping so long. No time for guns, no time to do wrong. Say the war is gone. My people be strong.
Wake up, oh, wake up and do something. Try to settle things the way we used to be. You know, it's all we need in our love and control.
Wokama, wena moto mwaka, wokama, muna moto mwaka, ufanu, unyamanu, wokama, sarune, dire, abore, ginie, wokama. Parliament, Bassama, Wokama, Kisseman, Wokama, Longaman, Kiyoman, Proman, Wokama, hey, Wokama, hey, Mandingo, Gola, Men, Wokama,
Good morning, and a pleasant welcome to a very interesting, a very fascinating edition of the program, Straight from the Heart on Sky 107.1. Today is the 5th day of August 2021. My name is Matthias Labindi. This morning at 8 o'clock, from 8 to 9 o'clock, we're going to be talking education. And education, talking about that, We're going to be looking at having studio, the executive director, the founder and executive director of a media development institution. The Liberia Multimedia Institute is just coming. This young journalist is also passionate about impacting, other people in the country. So, having stayed in the classroom for a very long time, training other journalists, he's now established his own institution, and he's coming to talk about it a little bit this morning, but also talk about some other things, affecting the media today. But before that, the Liberia Revenue Authority issued a circular, and we're going to be speaking with the chairman or president of the Patriotic Entrepreneurs of Liberia, the chair on trade and commerce at the Liberia Business Association, LIBA, Mr. Dominic Nimler, joins us on the line for a few minutes to share with us about the circular, what is his take on the circular, some basic restrictions, basic things, things put in place to ensure that business people do not go through the headache that they've been going through in the hands of APM terminals and other, companies operating the port. So Mr. Nimle joins us on the program shortly, but we're going to be reading a few lines of the circular before he joins us. Letter from Dr. Nyankwe Joma of Kari. Dr. Joma is this man who's been practice in Kari, corruption syndicate in Kari. He has highlighted a number of things. Dr. Nyankwe has now understood that this whole thing, if I do not reach out to the president, is going to be difficult. But he's been talking, trying to reach out to the Minister of State, but it's been. And now he has written an open letter to President George. I'm very sure it's going to be published in many dailies, and I'm going to be reading the letter here this morning. He's hoping to join us. We are hoping, by the way, that he joins us on the line as well to tell us exactly the status of this whole thing right now. Now that we are seeing a letter, from him. The list is endless, but we have to pick a few things and discuss them. We'll be right back after this break.
Mama Liberia, wake up. Mama Liberia, wake up. Mama Liberia. Liberia, oh Liberia, oh Liberia, wake up. Liberia, oh Liberia, oh Liberia, wake up. Liberia, oh Liberia, oh Liberia, wake up. And pray.
Oh, Liberia, wake up, oh, wake up. Liberia, try to settle things the way we used to be. Maybe it's all we need in our love and control. Mama, L.I.D.
Wake up, my people. Can't you hear the song? Can't you see the shiny sun? You've been sleeping so long. What have to do wrong? Say the why is gone. My people be strong.
Liberia, wake up, oh, wake up and do something.
And that's right, Liberians, wake up and do something. Now, before we get into our talking points this morning, I quickly want to read a message here that I received from some, BMs, as we may call them. It's from some criminals. So I want to read a message, then I will play a song in connection to that. There are many of you young people out there, you are damaging yourselves, or in the name of hustling, like the information we're getting from Nimba County, where some guys, have been passing around collecting taxes in the name of government, and they are, they get to business people, most especially the medical, the pharmacists, and so they collect money from the people in the name of, giving them or taxes. Yeah, they're collecting taxes according to them. So they go around and saying that they are from the LRA, they are from this and all of that, collect money. So that is, the attitude of some young people, right? Like I said, at 8 o'clock, we're going to be speaking with Mr. Bidesco M.N. Tume. Bidesco Tume joins us from 8 to 9 o'clock to talk about the Liberia Multimedia Institute. It's a new institute. Let's see what is going to be offering. And that way, I'm very sure we are going to help to build this country. So let me read a message quickly, then I'll play you a song from Naro featuring Takunje. Naro featuring Takunje, and the song is called Thick Life. Before that song is played, let me read a message that I received from a number. So I'm going to call the number. If you people want to help to encourage this guy to stop doing what he's doing, yes, you can help. So his number is 0778 9769. He's a BM. I know he's young. I spoke with him on the phone. He's a young man. I'm very sure some of you with passionate hearts, with hearts of gold, you can reach out to him and advise him that we heard about you on the radio this morning. We don't know you. I don't know your name and all of that. But the young man that you reached out to, he's a journalist. You try to siphon money from him and all of that. So I'm going to read his message, and you two out there can maybe call him and advise him. His number is 0778-339769. So the message is, instead we have a urgent, first error. So urgent, that word U, the letter U goes with an, right? All right, so we have an urgent. So let me read the message before I correct the grammatical errors in it. So we have a urgent vacancy at the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare. The vacancy are, instead vacancy are. The vacancy are office assistants, field supervisor, driver, workhouse supervisor, instead workhouse supervisor, mechanic, security, maintenance is not even spelled, and generators, it said janitors. Oh, janitors. Okay, janitors, said Genetors. Janitors. He said, please call me for more details. So I called. The fellow said his name is Emmanuel. Emmanuel? Did he mention his name? I think, yeah, he said Emmanuel, something like that, right? So he called his name and we talked briefly. Then he said, I'm going to forward the HR number to you. He forwarded a number to me. According to him, the HR for the Ministry of Health is one Mr. Freeman, and his number is 0777-106927. So this is a very privileged message to the Ministry of Health. There are schemers going around extracting money from people in the name of vacancies at the Ministry of Health. I want to read this message again. The guy said, we have a urgent vacancy at the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare. The vacancy are office assistants, field supervisor, driver, workhouse supervisor, mechanic, security, maintenance, and janitors. Said, please call me. I called him. He forwarded another number to me that this number is the number of the HR. So these two numbers I'm announcing on the radio, I need the public to place calls to them and say to them that you're looking for a job. You heard that there's a vacancy at the Ministry of Health and all of that. Find a way to get to these people. If you can find them, and maybe you can advise them. For me, if I wanted to actually get at them and get them personally and find them wherever they are, I can get to them. I can find them. I can find where they live. I can find where, wherever they are. Some of them could be from the prison compound. Some of them can be from South Beach and so on. So if they're in South Beach, you can know. If they're out here, you can also know. So they send me this message. And the human resource officer they say from Health Ministry is what? Is Mr. Freeman. So his number also is 0777-106927. You help them, let them graduate from this kind of criminal act. But let's listen to this song. We'll come back. We'll dive into a few issues quickly and hear from two persons on the line. We hope that Mr. Dr. Nyangwe Joma can join us. Nyangwe Joma can join us from Kari, Bon County, to further speak on his letter. He wrote his open letter to President George Weah. And we also going to be speaking with Mr. Dominic Nimine shortly. Let's hear from Naro and Takunje, Thick Life.
It's a Naro, Takunje, Sibiripira Patala. You unaja wancha, you want John Wish, you not ever palava, you want choice. You get Oka, you want wrong with speed. Why you want show, why you want show. And I mean, I just came a little grip. Where my hand I wish I cannot force it. You not on salary, but you want them a check. Why you want them a check? When the moko finish, then you start to bid. You not got here. Then you want some more weed. You can pay bill, then you want LC. You say the food not sweet, but you still eating it. Tell me what it for, saying you could chop it. You unega want ya. Yo. You want John Wish. Look. You not ever palava. See. You want Jorgis. You got Oka. Look. You want wrong with speed. Power. How you want show? You want show? How you want show? Go. All I think you do in my hand inside. All I ever ask a friend, tell your hand for inside. You want the pizza, don't eat pizza, you hungry, gata. Slow your speed and get prepared for the rebound. You only wish you realize you only got one job. You go for meeting to bring your child, then you start. Think you not able, you go there, you will show the give up. Making money with you, then you spend it on labor table. Your family crying, you're begging, they can't put on the table. Putting yourself on big show, that fake flow. You get big up, then you say you big shot. You got down to a four, you get big hot. You talking too much, your mouth full of salaba. Soon I take break, you prepare for palava. You better stop it, I have it, I think it's necessary. Don't make me scary, I hear it, I think it give me headache. Up to my vision, I'm good for strapper. Strapper. To my vision, I'm good for hustlers. Strapper. Now they do to my easy putting you in Glikata. And you know, say your oka stay in the garage. You know, get mad, you still want other shiggy dada. Younger black, but the money you want take seat. You now want drink, or you choosing anything. You can buy spray, or you want something sweet. Your teeth are correct in your mouth, or you want eat meat. You now get cell phone, you send in for credit. So where you got me put it here? You not get TV, or you just buying this. You not get boyfriend, yeah, then you want marry me. So how the sky they make me fall upon. You unega want ya. Yo. You want John Wish. Look. You not ever palava. See. You want Jorgis. You got Oka. Look. You want wrong with speed. Power. Why you want show? You want show? Why you want show? To my vision, I'm good for strapper. Strapper. To my vision, I'm good for hustlers. Strapper. You unega want ya. You want John Wish. Yo. You not ever palava. Look. You want Jorgis. See. You got Oka. You want wrong with speed. Look. Why you want show? You want show? Why you want show? It's a panaro. Takunche. Sibiripira patala.
A-Trains on the beat.
You know, that's the reality. Some of you in the community, you know that you don't know how to talk, you don't know how to make force, but you want to pick force. You want to throw his, or you throw his now the rear force a woman now you hang on you now you want to run away. And you only have one kid, but you want to join which, and you know say which being that children eating beans. Then how you want to do that? And you don't have cell phone because you see other people buying scratch card, you want to buy scratch card. You too. You don't have television in your house because your friends are going home and buying dicks, and you too buying dicks to take it home. What are you going to watch the show on? So the young people who send me the message, you know, you don't even know how to spell, but you want to write Matthias to tell him about vacancy from the Ministry of Health. You can't write properly, but you want to write me to tell me about vacancy at the Ministry of Health. Ministry of Health does not, announce vacancy that way. I'm not too sure it's going to come through text messages. How did you even get my number to send it to me, to send me a message that there's a vacancy at Ministry of Health? So by sending the message to certain people, it means that the people are qualified for the job already. So you just want to let them know that, yes, come and just, secure the space. The vacancy will be, posted up there. So yes, it's very important for us to look at that. Let's move on to, quickly. Senator Darius has been appointed, as chair of the Senate Committee on Youth and Sports. So I don't know whether, what is going to happen now is that the Youth and Sports Ministry has somebody who has oversight responsibility over the ministry, and that person is an opposition lawmaker. So this is a government of inclusion, yeah? It's a demonstration of inclusion, isn't it? That the Senate Pro Tem would have appointed somebody else, from the ruling position, given that maybe they don't want somebody who will give the Youth and Sports Minister difficulty. So Mr. Zioka Wilson, you now have Senator Darius DeLong, someone who is clothed with the responsibility to exercise oversight over the operations of the Youth and Sports Ministry. Congratulations to you, Senator Dillon. Let's quickly read out this circular. It's an important government notice from the Liberia Revenue Authority that in requirements of the World Trade Organization Trade Facilitation Agreement, the government of Liberia, through the Liberia Revenue Authority, has concluded a destination inspection that's contract with MedTech Scientific. The public is therefore informed of the following. Beginning August 1, 2021, pre-shipment inspection is officially abolished in Liberia, and destination inspection shall officially commence. All goods intended to be shipped to Liberia will be inspected only once in Liberia by MTS, that is the MedTech Scientific, Customs, and any other interested parties with a defined statutory role linked to inspection. Non-intrusive inspection, that's cargo scanning, will be introduced at customs ports of entry for greater efficiency in goods clearance. A new intrusive inspection, physical inspection, that's facility, will be built to accommodate inspection of multiple shipments at customs ports of entry. For the sake of small Liberian businesses, a deconsolidation facility will be built to facilitate the separation of single shipments by multiple owners. Beginning August 1, 2021, the old fee structure by BVAC, which was of the value of goods, that is ad valorem to 2021, a flat fee structure as per attached schedule of fees for that is direct inspection, destination inspection services shall be introduced and paid to MTS at the or designated account with EcoBank Liberia. All services by the DR contractor shall be performed with customs counterparts for capacity building, and customs will assume full responsibility for all destination inspection services at the end of the current contract. The public is further informed that there will be a transition period of up to 4 months, during which time packages or backlogs and other technical handovers will be completed between BVAC and MTS. Before the end of the transition period, the new DR business process will be introduced and communicated to the public. Therefore, we're going to launch an investigation also in knowing better about this particular company, MTech Scientific, where it's from, and all of that. That's not mentioned in here. So now here are some adjustments made. Fees to charge import. Fees to charge import. Container shipment, that's 24th. We have $280. Now, let me just pause this one and just quickly, speak to Mr. Dominic Nimile before reaching out to Dr. Nyankwe Joma from Bong County, who is currently in Kari, to give us some information regarding, his communication. Mr. Dominic Nimile is the chairman of Patel, and he's also the chair on trade and commerce at the Liberia Business Association, LIBA. So Mr. Dominic joins us shortly on the program to give us some information. Let's quickly look at the communication here before us. This is about an adjustment made at the port, at the National Port Authority, or all port of entries in a country that business people, pass through to bring businesses their goods to Liberia. So Mr. Nimile speaks to us on that shortly. But I don't know what to follow the situation involving this, experts. Dr. Joma is an animal expert, and I don't know how to describe him, but this man, if you've read his credential, if you follow his work as well at Kari, you will know that this guy comes to this particular job with qualification, with worth of experience as well. So having studied outside of the country and obtained, his degrees and all of that, come to Liberia to serve, he's going through what he never expected to go through at Kari. So as we hear from Dominic Nimla, we're quickly going to reach out to Mr. Dr. Nyakwe Joma to read his letter. We're going to read his letter on the air as well to hear from him briefly about the situation there in Kari. It says, the letter is dated August 3rd. His Excellency George M. Weah. Quickly, let's hear from Dominic. Dominic Nimla is the president of Patel and is the chair on trade and commerce at the Liberia Business Association. Mr. Nimla, thanks for joining us on the program this morning.
Morning, Natalia. Morning to the peace-loving people of Liberia. Thanks for the post.
Well, let's quickly begin by knowing what do you make of this circular from the government of Liberia through the ministry, through the Liberia Revenue Authority? What does it mean for business people like you?
Well, it's a clear indication that they want to kill us more, and
the government wants to kill you more.
Yes.
How so? Because from what I'm reading here, it sounds like it's in your interest. But tell us a bit more.
Why are you reading that? I think that is in my interest. What are you talking about?
Are
you talking about the new increase in prices?
Is it an increase or is it an adjustment that maybe fits in what some of the?
It's an increase, Mr. Natalia. It's an increase. Yes, it is an increase, and those increase is not in our interest. Number one, the LRA violated the rights and the protocols because before such come out to the public, you should have a stakeholder meeting where we're going to disagree and agreed. We're not saying that government shouldn't make money, but not at the detriment of the people. All right? Not at the detriment. Like, for example, I pay $250 to Beaver, which of course is way too much. I'm crying on it. You are additional $200 on it to make it $450.
Well, maybe I'm reading this thing upside down. From what I'm looking at, Dominic, is that the government is saying that most of these inspections that you used to go through at the port there, you're not going to be experiencing those because there's going to be an adjustment. There's this scientific group that the government has hired to contracted to come and do some inspection and all of that. Aren't these some of the things that you people were asking for, for the government to adjust?
Now, we have Beaver, we have another new group, we have GTMS. Tell me, is not now a bottomment? It is. The shipping now had prices by seconds, not even by minute. Where are we heading? I think our government should be doing things to reduce prices and bottomment at the free port because Liberia is losing revenue to Guinea. Liberia is losing revenue to Ghana and Nigeria where our women go buy goods. If our port was correct enough, more people are going to be bringing goods from China here and people will be buying wholesale to sell retail. They don't be going to Ghana or Nigeria paying for plane ticket, round trip ticket, paying for hotel, risking their lives. All right. The other even got complaint for a market woman down Waterside saying that she left Ghana and went to Togo to go buy goods, which of course she was armed robbed. Immigration and Soya told them to pay because it was insane. The Tokodi government official, which is the Soya immigration, put those our women down from the car and allowed the car that they were on to, which of course they got in another car that was ambushed or hijacked. So our government should be doing things to make people to be flexible. Why is it doing 2016 Manasadi sound the new custom tariff system? They didn't put it into law because they want to be using face value on the market to be killing us. There is no way to use face value. They go by your receipt to appraise your goods to get you your detail that you saw to pay. But in Liberia, him and Samoa and the other lights of LRA go ahead and tell Beaver, hey, this car, yes, we know that it's accident car. You have an accident certificate from the United States government or the custom, the Homeland Security, we call them custom here. It says accident car, but in your Beaver report, so when the car coming to Liberia, put in your report that this car is Loswick. So we pay for Loswick for accident car here. When you go to talk to him, that he know the job more than anybody. I've been working with customs since Child State Administration. I know better than them there. To the extent that LRA official was even counting nail one by one to people. I had to go and correct them because people, people and all started complaining to me. I have to go to the custom collector and call the commissioner and say, maybe your people don't know their ethics. No, you don't count nail one by one, you weigh by kilo.
Now, let me ask you this question. There's this information out here that you people are planning to shut down the port because of this increase, what you're terming as an increase. Like I said, you may have to come in the studio sometime next week so we can talk more about this. So what approach did the government reach out to you people to have a conversation with the business community before, concluding this particular thing that you people are now commenting on?
Not at all, Natalda. What I say is of violations. Even before currency being printed in the country are being called, stakeholder being called it. It will make our views known because we stand for the people, we represent the people. In this one, for example, Liberia is the only country you have 35% on 140 container to 65%. So you're telling the people on our container 35%, each one of them should pay $160. You know what you're talking about? We put all the coin for the high custom duty that you refuse to drop. And you're telling them each person to pay $160? No, you can just go to bed and wake up with a new regulation on people to enforce something down somebody's throat. No, you're spoiling the president proper agenda he spoke about. The president said you don't want us to be spectator. And you there trying to strangulate us in our own economy? No.
Okay.
We're going to shut down by closing our businesses. Okay. I think last few months ago I was flogged in jail for the 24 persons that were downside by APM terminal to be reinstated. But at least I wasn't flogged for nothing. I wasn't in jail for nothing. We succeeded in that. The 24 person work. The penalty they were putting on GDMS/CTM. We were able to cancel the penalty. There was no more penalty. There was no more hiking of fees. I even received complaint of late, which of course I forward to the office. They sacked them or suspended them for time indefinite, which of course taking presses again, people within the system. So I think all of that it was a win-win situation for us a little bit, which of course we also had another meeting to reconcord on the LRA keeping us increasing prices, which that didn't come to fruition, and you are coming up with another thing to kill us. No, you can do that to us.
All right, Dominic, we have to leave it like that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to extend an invite to Dominic Nimela to join us live in studio to tell us more about this particular communication. I thought that it was in their interest, but until now that he's saying that this is nothing in their interest, but it's just meant to further make them to go backward instead of even being spectators in their own economy, but they're going backward in their economy. Let's read this letter from Dr. Nyankwe Joma, another Liberian who is complaining about, maltreatment at Kari. He said, "Dear President Weah, greetings. It saddens me, however, constrained due to previous mails and visits unattended to, leaves no option but write this open letter to a 1983 classmate, now president, and have local and international human rights advocates, diplomatic corps, Liberia National Bar Association, print and electronic media and religious institutions copied. Pardon me. I am Nyankwe D. Joma, a civil servant, been working with the Central Agricultural Research Institute, CARI, in Bond County, beginning 2011 to 2012, and currently I am the acting head, director of livestock, agriculture, fishery program, as well as a MacArthur Foundation fellow. All went well at CARI until 2019 appointment of a female officer in charge, for which I rather not burden you with details of what transpired, Mr. President, because that outcome is known almost throughout Liberia, beyond our borders and overseas. Mr. President, the crime I committed at CARI as head and director of program was a mail to prevent approximately 500,000 donor money intended to benefit almost 20,000 fish farmers from being stolen, which was for fish ponds construction, training fish farmers, and preparing of fish meals, which would have had a trickle-down effect on the economy had procedure been followed. I did my duty, upheld integrity, and made the appropriate decision being head of program, thus scoring our government applause internationally and locally. Permit me to reference names with addresses of beheld donors in the United States of America I wrote, who are also copied here for your verification and validation. 1. Karen Duker, email address attached. John Mendodob, email address attached. For that decision I made then, I am now being persecuted through arbitrary arrest and detention without probable cause, denial of court's ruling, not respecting the rule of law, family denied right to life, work, and free movement. Family lived in constant fear, kept under surveillance at Kari, caused psychological and physical torture and trauma, and had my residence at Kari broken into and looted, while perpetrators are currently in Kari's employed, protected, and promoted. Threats of death had me signed contract against my will, requested a waiver exonerating perpetrators, thereby boosting the culture of impunity, which I refused, requested a good behavior bond, and most appalling is the intentional withholding of my allotted salary since October 2019 to March 2021 while I worked at Kari without pay, unlike others. This is abused and humiliation at its highest. Principles have driven my actions, President Weir. Hence, I therefore again kindly appeal you intervene. Have me paid for work I have rendered Kari over the period of 18 months. Interestingly, the current officer in charge is very concerned, however, something or somehow or someone somewhere seems to interfere thereby, preventing him proceed with payment, consequently rendering my office, home, businesses, my business houses, and people I am obligated to. In fact, this is a daily routine, not at peace at home. I only get involved so as to ensure I get paid, rendered our government. Local and international human rights advocates, diplomatic corps, Liberia National Bar Association, print and electronic media, religious institutions, and the general public to kindly request on my behalf President Weir intervene and end this saga, which is unhealthy not only for Kari but equally Liberia. I patiently wait for your intervention as the president, yet a public servant, while I continued the path of being law-abiding, trusting the rule of law still works at least sometimes. Accept my assurances of the highest esteem. Sincerely yours, Nyakwe D. Joma, PhD. I cannot read all of his credentials. Like I said, this is a man who has worked, he's studied, he's qualified, and now let me just read his position. He's currently the acting head director, livestock, aquaculture, fishery program, research institute, Swakokobong County. This letter is CC copy to several individuals. If we mention all the people that this letter is CC copy, it just tells you the embarrassment that this particular communication will cost Liberia. But we have Dr. Nyakwe Joma on the line. Good morning, Dr. Joma. Thanks for joining us on Straight from the Heart.
Good morning, Labendi, and good morning to Liberia and our president, President George Weah. Good morning to all. I'm glad to be a guest, and I call in from the Central Agricultural Research Station in Bon County, Central Liberia.
And I was just about to ask you where you're speaking to me from, but you know what is really astonishing to me is that up to now this matter is still lingering, and a communication has now surfaced in the public to President George Weah. So currently, what is the status of the matter? I read a line in it that you're talking about the current head at Kari is trying to make some intervention. Tell me about the current situation at Kari. Of course, you summarize something, but explain a little bit, sir, please.
Well, basically, Carrie is calm. And as I said in the last paragraph in my notes to the president, I still remain hopeful and follow the rule of law, because if we all begin to break the law, then where is Liberia going? And given my competence and qualification, I couldn't do such. Yes, indeed, I'm at Carrie. I've never left Carrie. I'm an employee of the Central Agricultural Research Institute. As a matter of fact, or the fact of the matter, I'm the current acting head for livestock, aquaculture, and inland fishery at Carrie. By one way or the other, the new director has chosen not to work with me. And I think, according to him, he's in a political seat. And these were information that handed down to him from someone somewhere. So he's not working with me. That's okay.
If you say he's not working with you, what do you mean? You're still there as acting director, for livestock, fishery and aquaculture.
Yeah, he's not. Someone somewhere told him, said, well, we don't want you to work with Dr. Joma. I mean, he's very straightforward. There are things that we want to do, we can't do it once he's in the department.
This may sound like you're indicting the current head to say that he's adhering to an advice from a distance not to work with you because you are a straightforward man. It suggests that he is not a straightforward person. Is that what you are alluding to?
Well, what I'm saying here, he is not working with me. Why is he not working? He came in, he got appointed August last year, and he met me with a Carrie. But for virtue, one way or the other, he chose not to work with me, not to cooperate with me. In fact, he is working with my underman. So you see how difficult it is. I've even written a letter because duty comes with responsibility. And mind you, Dr. Victor Harris Sumo has been a very, very good friend of mine since 2011. We worked at Carrie together, 2012, 2013, before I traveled for my doctorate and MPhil. Victor only became, that relationship only became skewed when he got appointed August last year. And then he tells everybody here at the institution, well, it's a political seat I'm into. So you see how difficult it is.
So let's moving forward now. Let's move forward. Now you've communicated, with the president of Liberia. You've sent your letter, couple of times now. You've protested. You staged a one-man protest. One time you walked in here emotional. You wept bitterly on this platform. And so I thought that this matter has been laid to rest. Did you manage to reach to Minister of State Nathaniel McGill out of the effort to apply?
Yes, Honorable McGill at his residence. In fact, it was early in the morning of, I think, February. Yeah, he and the then Eugene Fagon, they go out to take their normal exercise. And McGill, when they look,
you said then Eugene Fagon is still around, or he's not there? He's just being replaced by the ministry.
Yeah, but he's not in the country. He's being replaced, but he's not in a position.
Okay, that's why. Okay, yeah, please.
And Honorable McGill turned to me in the presence of Eugene Fagon. I even did a communication to Minister McGill and copy others in it. And he turned to me and said, Dr. Joba, I told you go to Carrie for your money. Carrie owe you, go there. Don't come back to me. Go to Carrie. They will pay you. In fact, this morning, as I speak to you, that's yesterday, for the 26th government paid. And I was left out again. Even though I was paid April, May, and June salary, but July, I've been left out. So I communicated with Dr. Sumo, and he said, well, we're trying to pay you, and what have you. So this morning, as I said, I'm not going to obstruct Dr. Sumo, but I'm sitting next to his door so as to get my pay for July. I'm a Liberian. I'm equally qualified to work in any capacity as anyone else. Why you pay others, you did not pay me.
Dr. Joma,
that's
go ahead.
Number two, I'm sitting in next to the office of Dr. Simbo to ask him to take a decision on those that are mentioned in the letter that broke my residence, looted my residence, and they are now being protected, even given position. They are here at Carrie. The rule of law got to suffice. So Dr. Simbo is saying, well, I'm afraid these people were close to the past OIC. They are friendly with Melvin Cole, and they are close to Honorable McGill, who are close to Honorable McGill. So for ABC reason, so that's not going to happen. So I'm asking him to take action on these people that broke my residence and they are promoted here at carry and moving up and down. And my salary for July.
Now, you just communicated to the president, and now the action you're about to take, or you are taking now, to sit at the door of the current head of carry, this may lead to some scuffle. Why not exercise patience? I saw the reply from the Liberal Bar Association president, acknowledging receipt of your communication, and several individuals that you forwarded the communication to, about 15 people, as well as institutions you forwarded this communication to. Why not exercise a little patience and wait?
No, let me be clear. This letter is in response. It's a requesting the president. I knew the president a long time ago.
Yeah, you mentioned about 1973. You two went to school together.
1983.
83, okay.
Scarborough. Yeah, he's my friend and classmate. But now he's president. So this letter purposely is requesting the president to intervene for my 18-month salary from October 2019 to March 2021.
Wow.
Right now, I'm sitting in. I'm not preventing. Let's get it clear. I'm not preventing Dr. Simo from entering his office. I'm sitting next to his office door, asking his intervention into my July pay and his intervention for those who broke my residence and are promoted here at carry that he's afraid to take action against. So that's what I'm requesting him to do. I'm not preventing him from entering the office. No, I'm not. I respect the rule of law and believe.
Dr. Juma, lastly, sir, what you are going through could make anyone to think about what's the essence of educating a child. When an educated man who has worked tirelessly to acquire his qualification and thing is treated the manner and form in which he's treated, and you're fighting for your 18-month salary, why not resign the job and take the government to court?
Well, it's the wrong thing. I mean, that's the wrong notion. Look, Matthias, manna does not come down from heaven again. No part in the Bible, nowhere in the Bible, people did not fight to get freedom. The war of Jericho, there were always action taking. Moses used his king to strike the Red Sea. And on and on and on and on. Now, basically, my action, why I wouldn't resign, basically because it's based on principles. Look in the letter, principles.
Mm-hmm.
So, if everybody goes ahead and resign and goes, then where are we living Liberia? The government has a choice. Carrie has a choice. If you don't want Dr. Joma, you took me to court. You lost the case. You say you're going to hold on to my salary. Now that you lost the case, isn't that right that you pay the salary that you held onto? Do I have to go to court for that? If I do go to court, I will not sue for 30,000 government owe me. If I do go to court, I will sue for almost $1.5 billion. The humiliation, the abuse that I have been through. My family have lived in fear. I've been handcuffed, paraded on the street. I will sue for $1.something million, $3 million, and the government will pay me. But there's something they call the ADR, the Alternative Dispute Resolution, that lawyers have tried to use through. Why do you want the government to spend $3 million? I'm not after the money so likely. It's the principle. Just pay me what you have to pay me.
Your principal mindedness, I follow the situation development there. Your principal mindedness has reportedly led you into the situation you are in now. Now, this letter also, if you're talking about principles, you've communicated the international partners that through you came to assist Carrie. This communication, don't you think it dampens other chances, for Carrie to get support from other international partners, because they too could communicate with their friends overseas? Did you consider all of these before, CC copying your partners overseas?
Indeed, it's a likelihood. And that's why I CC copied those that are copied for their intervention. Because I have visited the president's residence before. I've sat in front of the Minister of Information. And from news from within, I understood once upon a time President Weah really wanted to see me. And the then OIC told someone very close to me and say, "Will you show that President Weah will not see Dr. Joma? The president will ask and say he wants to see him. Will you show that he will not see him?" And that will happen. So the whole letter is not the essence of stopping support. It's a matter of requesting partners that have worked with me, who know what I stand for, to prevail on Mr. President. Because it lies with him. Yeah, it's true, Honorable McGee is principal secretary to him. Yes, no doubt about that. But the president makes the final decision. Tomorrow, if there's any problem, good or bad, it reflects on the president. So that is why I'm requesting the president and copying international institutions to talk to the president on my behalf. Kind of get involved. Pay me my 18 months. and let me continue doing what I'm supposed to do. In the absence of my salary, I'm being barraged at my home, my residence, people that are basic hustle that are old. People be wondering how you been surviving. Yes, people know what I stand for. If I want anything, they give it to me on credit. My daughter just graduated from Stella Marie's, and sister Mary Lorraine, she did well. My daughter went for almost like a period of a year and a half. And quite recently, when they paid me the 2-3 months, I was able to make some payment. I didn't even say pay.
And even schools are crediting you just to ensure that your kids remain in school.
Exactly, because they know the situation. Even the Adventist school on the old road. There's a little girl with us, Esther Camus, and she went to school throughout without paying a cent. Quite recently, we were able to pay up to almost $50,000 flat down. They knew the situation. They knew the situation. Know what is happening. Know what I'm going through. Nobody should go through this. This is the worst humiliation and can attest to.
Okay.
President, but I'm asking here as a classmate. Look at the logic in there. In fact, I even reference the two American donors in America, John and Karen. Are you there?
I'm here.
I did reference them. Their emails are there. Do a follow up and see if what I'm saying is not true. Yes, I wrote them. And I wrote them because as head of program, it was the right thing to do. Money that's supposed to benefit 20,000, 30,000 fish farmers. One person or two person want to take it and put it in their pocket. No.
And you refused. That's what led to this thing that's going on now. Dr. Joma, it's a pleasure always having a conversation with you. We hope that we can maintain this thing on the air for some time until the president can see reason to intervene. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you, Labandi, and thank you to the Liberian people. And I just continue to ask Mr. President to kindly get involved and let me live my life. I'm a Liberian. I have right to live. I got right to be happiness and right to work.
Okay.
So thank you all very much.
Thank you, Dr. Nyakwe Joma there from Kari and the brother Martin Wiyama Brown is even concerned about whether this issue regarding Dr. Joma has been laid to rest. He has not been laid to rest, Martin, and Dr. Joma is still, complaining about the situation there. So let's hear you briefly, folks. We have 6 minutes to go on this segment of the program. Call us on 0777 107 0777 221 223. At numbers you can call us on to participate. Let's hear from this person. Good morning. Good morning, sir. Please speak up. Let's hear you. No. Okay, yeah, much better. Go ahead.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Thank you. This is Jackson Bimba, and I'm phoning from my usual residence.
Go ahead, Jackson.
It's quite unfortunate that every time you listen to radio since the inception of the government, it appears as if by the time the people sending show has to expire, every department of our country will be totally paralyzed. Everything is being caught up in like a weapon, the corruption weapon. Every aspect of the government is just about looting, and the current leadership, they are not finding a solution to mitigate all of these things. Like everybody just connected from one angle to one angle, what you standing on high against corruption, and you become an enemy to the quest to see and loot your own country. It's quite unfortunate. The story I heard from that talk, I'm broken down, man. This country is too unprecedented. We are.
Okay.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Let's move on to this other person here. Good morning. Good morning, sir. Let's hear you.
Yeah, Mandy, there is Emmanuel Wablo again, calling from Namusu, a national movement to support the legacy of CDC.
Let's hear you, sir.
Thank you. Mathias, these are the things we from Namusu supporting the legacy of CDC we found out seriously. Okay? Everyone that a member of CDC, we pray that you do the right thing. But anything that had a procurator to undermine the goodness and survivability of CDC, we find like that. Anyone that stands against that dog, whatever he do, okay, that due process be given to him. Whatever the man work for shows that he get. I mean, where's that? Long time hearing this, I was one time passing from a foreign affair when he was taking a protest the last time, and I saw him.
I'm glad you follow.
Such a person to be humiliated of that kind, we from Namusu will find out that. And we will get to the bottom of this. We'll do every other thing we can to investigate and get the person involved. Maybe we'll take action against that person because the image of CDC got to be protected.
Okay.
How will this image of CDC be protected if such a thing when you cause serious problem for the government and tomorrow for CDC? We don't know.
Okay.
As a young people that support CDC is an embarrassing thing for us tomorrow.
Thank you.
Salary harassment on other people is completely wrong.
Thank you so much. I sense patriotism in that voice. I hope you said. Let's hear from this other person. Good morning.
Good morning. And thank you for your platform this morning.
Fine, thank you. Go ahead.
I call for my resident this morning.
Mr. Harris, go ahead.
Every other thing that's going on in this country, the president is aware of it. I don't want for Dr. Joma to be calling the president my friend. Because everything that's going on, Mr. President is aware of it. And you don't want to take action. You don't want to institute measures that people that work over the years or over the months to have their salaries and their benefits for them and their family. It's so sad, Matthew. Why would people work and they didn't get paid? Then Mr. President sits there, other people say the president is not aware, he's not aware. Everything that going in the country, the president is aware. But there's a shared weekend by this government.
And thank you. That's why Dr. Joma has done an open letter. We're going to keep it up, and I'll make sure my duty every time I come here in the morning. We read it and remind the president that Dr. Joma is still waiting for your response. This is unfair. Let's hear from this person. Good morning, sir.
Mateo, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Pele. Go ahead.
First of all, let me thank Dr. Joma for his services to this country. And I believe as a Liberian, the commitment he has shown, this issue has been on for a very long period of time, but for him to continue to maintain his job, serving his state, I think it's necessary that the president pay some serious attention. I won't be the president, right? Like someone said, everything that happened in Liberia, the president aware. I was that shocked. Is the president born to know everything that's happening in every institution or everywhere in Liberia? I think we should leave politics out of these things and see how well we can advocate for those that need assistance or those that are being ill-treated. And to put it aside, every other thing, it's a pity, man. I think the president listen, let him try to see how he can intervene and get the fast to try to pay this brother. His labor for him, that's what God requires. We should labor. So saying labor, let him get his just salary. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for the contribution on the program this morning. That's all the time we have for this segment of the program. Mr. Martin Williama Brown says, I thought Dr. Joma issue has been laid to rest since we stopped hearing him or seeing him protesting. What is really going on at Kari? Is there anything he can do to resign and live his life in peace or find something else to do, Matthias? Where I suggested that Martin in the interview that he should resign instead. He's qualified. He can even set up, a private something. And you see a lot of fish farmers, those who are involved into aquaculture, they will come to him for training. He can write proposals and get a lot of support. That make him write and get $4-5 million support. Again, when that's on such money comes here, people want to even fight the man. Now he's working in a system we can make Kari to get the kind of representation it needs internationally. Why can we protect him? We'll be right back after this break.
This is VOA News reporting by remote. I'm Michael Brown. The French Constitutional Council is expected to rule today on special COVID-19 virus passes for all restaurants and domestic travel, while also mandating vaccinations for all health workers. Both measures have prompted protests and political tensions in France, where the country has begun dealing with a fourth wave of infections. Under the law, healthcare workers must begin getting vaccinations by September 15th or risk suspension. It also requires a health pass to enter all restaurants, trains, planes, and some other public venues. To get the pass, people must either have proof they are fully vaccinated or have recently tested negative. So far, just over half of the people in France have become fully vaccinated. Australia's most populous state on Thursday reported its worst day of locally transmitted COVID-19 cases of the pandemic, with a record 262 new infections and 5 deaths. The Premier of New South Wales said 4 of the victims had not been vaccinated and the 5th had received a single dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine. As case numbers in the state continue to surge, New South Wales Chief Health Officer issued a new plea for residents to book an appointment to receive their vaccine. Only 20% of Australian adults were fully vaccinated as of Wednesday, according to the latest government figures. And the Biden administration is moving toward requiring nearly all foreign visitors to the U.S. to be vaccinated for the coronavirus. A White House official speaking to the Associated Press said the requirement would come out as part of the administration's phased approach to easing travel restrictions for foreign citizens to the country. By BOA News. Pope Francis routine of holding weekly audiences with the general public a month after he underwent bowel surgery. During the much-awaited appearance on Wednesday, he recalled the anniversary of the devastating Beirut port explosion and expressed the desire to someday visit Lebanon. Francis appealed to the international community to offer concrete acts of help to the Lebanese people and not just words. Francis, who was 84, was hospitalized back on July 4th in Rome for the operation, during which a section of his colon was removed. Belarusian Olympic sprinter Kristina Timanovskaya, who appeared for her safety at home after criticizing her coaches on social media, flew into Warsaw Wednesday night on a humanitarian visa after leaving the Tokyo Olympics, according to a Polish diplomat. It's not clear what's next for the 24-year-old. The International Olympic Committee is investigating what led to her being removed from the Belarus team. Her husband fled Belarus shortly after his wife said she would not be returning, and Poland has also offered him a visa. Myanmar's ambassador to the United Nations, who has refused to leave his post despite being fired by the military junta after the February coup, sent a letter to the UN Secretary General saying 40 bodies had been found in the area of northwestern Myanmar. The junta has denied the massacre in the township of Knai, while news agencies have not been able to independently verify the reports due to mobile networks being cut in the remote region. Myanmar has been in turmoil since the army ousted the civilian leadership on February 1st, launching a crackdown on dissent that has killed hundreds of people. The Taliban condemned the United States Wednesday for what it described as plain interference in Afghanistan by offering to resettle Afghan civilians with affiliations to international forces who could be targeted by the insurgent group. Washington announced the program on Monday that offers thousands of Afghan interpreters and translators, along with their families, a chance to relocate as refugees in America. U.S. and NATO allies are just weeks away from winding down their military mission in the war-torn South Asian nation after 20 years. For more news, please join us at voanews.com or the VOA mobile app. I'm Michael Brown, reporting by remote. VOA News.
Wake up, Mama Liberia. Wake up, Mama Liberia. Wake up, Mama Liberia. You not ever palava. You want choice. You get oka. You want wrong with speed. Why you want show? You want show? Why you want show? And I mean, yeah, I just came a little grip. Where my hand not reach, I cannot force it. You not on salary, but you want them a check. Why you want them a check? When the moco finish, then you start to bid. You not got hit, then you want some more weed. You can pay bills, then you want LC. You say the food not sweet, but you still eating it. Tell me what you forcing you to chop it. You only got one chop. Yo. You want John Wish. Look up. You not ever palava. You want your his. You get oka. You want wrong with speed. What you want show? You want show? How you want show? Yo, all I think you doing my hand inside. All I ever ask a friend, tell your hand for inside. You want the pizza, don't eat pizza. You hungry, kata. Slow your speed and get prepared for the rebounds. You only wish you realize you only got one child. You go for meeting to bring your child, then you start to cry. The thing you not able, you go there, you will show the give up. Making money with children, you spending on labor table. Your family crying, you're begging, they can't put on the table. Putting yourself on big show, that fake flow. You get big mouth, then you say you big shot. You got time to afford, you get beat hard. You talking too much, your mouth full of salava. Sooner take break, you prepare for palava. You better stop it, I have it, I think it's necessary. Don't make me scary, I hear it, I think it give me headache. Up to my vision, I'm good for strapper. Strapper. To my vision, I'm good for hustlers. Strapper. Now they get to my easy button, you English kata. And you know, say your oka stay in the garage. You know, your ma still want out of she dada. Younger black, but the money you want take seat. You now want dream, but you choosing anything. You can buy spread, but you want something sweet. Your teeth are correct in your mouth, you want eat meat. You not get self when you send me for credit. So why you got me put it here? You not get TV, but you just buying this. You not get boyfriend yet, then you want marry now. So out the sky, they make me fall upon. You only get one child. You want John Wish. You not ever palava. You want your his. You get Oka. You want wrong with speed. What you want show? You want show? What you want show? To my vision, I'm good for scrapper. To my vision, I'm good for hustlers. Scrapper. You only want ya. You want John Wish. You not ever palava. You want your his. You get Oka. You what you want show? You want show? It's a banaro. Takunche. Sibiripira batala.
It rains on the
And that's right. You don't know that, which business a child eating beanie, right? You only get one child. Only one child you get in your whole life, then you go John Witch. What you depending with? What you depending to? What you depending on? Like brand musicians say. Well, and then at the same time, you don't know how to make force. You live in a community, you the one can always start the throwing east. When I want to mention travel, my boss I'll mention travel for my boss man sick. My boss man team again say nobody can be plow money because he's a crewman. So that crew more grab you in that community, say you get make force, then you go open palava in that place. That's trouble for you. But seriously, the music is educative. So it's just about you as a young man. You don't have to dress to impress people. So thereby going ahead, taking everything you labor for, you've saved to do something different because you see that some of your friends going for certain fashion, you download your entire account. I want to say download. Yeah, but it's not download now. When you withdraw something, you download it. So you withdraw everything from your account and you go and buy the fashion just because you want to go to that particular party that big guys are, going to. So you can have at least $500 in your pocket to spend. When you get through spending everything, you get back home, you start life again from square one. So stop faking. Fake life is not good. If you know that you don't know it, it's always good to make sure that you tell people, smart people, those that can help you, tell them about your limitations. They are certainly going to help you. But if you act like you know and you don't know, it becomes a problem. All right. Dr. Joma, I understand your situation. He's still coming through, but yes, Doc, we have to move on now. Thank you so much for the time. And I know with time, someone is going to listen to you. We have now the executive director and founder of the Liberia Multimedia Institute, LMI, Incorporated, Mr. Bidesco Ementume. Bidesco is a journalist. Yeah, for many of you who don't know, he's a media developer. He's a mentor. He's a classroom teacher. He teaches at some institutions around here, up to colleges as well. And he's trained a number of people. Well, he's not someone who will go about naming people he has mentored. I just want to be the first to say, yes, I'm also his product. Now, Bidesco, having worked with many institutions, training other journalists, he now want to run his own institution. He now want to open an institution, something he's already done 75% of the work, and it's called Liberia Multimedia Institute. It is a place that some of us will go sometime in the future to provide pro bono service, because this is our own institution. It's my institution, my institution, in that this is a man who trained me, while in school doing journalism, and now he's setting up an institution. I couldn't be prouder than I am right now. Good morning, sir. It's a pleasure joining me this morning on Straight from the Heart.
Thank you so much, Matthias, and good morning to Liberians. It's a privilege being in your studio this morning to discuss Liberia and discuss an institution that is meant to build the capacity of Liberians.
Tell us a bit about you. Well, what I've said is basically from my heart that I need to share with the public, that this man sitting here, he taught me journalism. And so if you hear Matthias, if you see him behaving in a way that appears professional, and so, well, because of certain people that have touched me. Thank you so much, Bidesco. Let the people know you a bit more.
Well, my name is Bidesco Nyumatumbe, a Liberian journalist for the past 15 years. And I am a multimedia journalist in terms multimedia journalism by itself is a broad field, which we refer to now as the new media, where we build a capacity of journalists not to be one-way journalist, but to be multi-talented journalist. So Bidesco Nyumatumbe have been into that and been teaching around for a while. For years now, work with a lot of institutions in Liberia, including newspapers, radio stations, as well as television station. And now we are into a new area of what we call media development. So we are lecturing presently at Lincoln College of Professional Studies, as well as Peter Kokwe School of Journalism, and providing mentorship for people across Liberia. And also just a few days ago, I left a job. I was the manager for Vision FM.
You resigned?
Yeah, I resigned as a manager, and now taking up a new step with an institution that is meant to improve the capacity of Liberians.
Well, I want to also thank you. A couple of weeks ago, you invited me to two of your institutions to lecture with some of your students, Lincoln College particularly, and Peter Kokwe School of Journalism. I was, thrilled by the performances of your students, and so some of them, you're doing a great job. But why set up your own institution? Why not continue giving back to the society by impacting knowledge in other institutions? Because if you leave Peter Kokwe, it means Peter Kokwe has to replace you with somebody else. If you leave Lincoln College, it means Lincoln College has to replace you with someone else. You're not going to open this institution and then you at the same time serving other people. Your attention is going to be on building this institution. Why your own institution?
Well, it is not my own institution. It's an institution owned by Liberians. So I've seen the need that the media landscape needs some type up that is a little bit improvement, and also looking at the environment we find ourselves, where you work for an institution or an organization, and then also you have to also open up a brain that can help build the capacity of others. So I'm not leaving Lincoln or Peter Kokwe, but what happened is we trying to help in another area by propping up the talents that are already there, the skills that are already there, or the one that are not there at all, like new people coming to the media. So we're creating this atmosphere or the environment for them to have a little bit improvement in the media landscape. So we stay with other partners like the Lincoln College as well as Peter Kokwe. So I'm not creating like a gap there, but we work together. We are partnering.
Okay.
So what happened is the Liberia Multimedia Institute is not an institution that is going to just say we are on our own, but we do partnership in terms like the students that will be graduating from Lincoln College or Peter Kokwe School of Journalism, the skills they will acquire there or have acquired there, we will step on that and then improve them better for the job market. So,
okay, now you're going to talk more about the institution now, but some of the things that, one thing that I know, even up to the time you were in a classroom while we were there, you were teaching, and many of you instructors were complaining about salary, about staffings during that time. Some instructors couldn't bear it. They left even before we could end a semester. All right. Even before we graduate, some of the people resigned. Some of the people abruptly, they couldn't just return. We called them, they cut their phones off and all of that. But you remain in the classroom until the entire program ended and you parted ways with the institution. Are you forming this institution as a result of valuable practice that you have experienced with many institutions that you want to control your own finances?
No, actually what happened is I've experienced a little bit bad labor practices, but it doesn't mean that I'm forming an institution in that perspective. But what happened is there's a gap. There's a gap in the media that we need to tap on, we need to bring in. The gap there is there are areas that people don't or lack the skills. Because of that, they have limited them to certain things. To do certain things or not to do certain things. So we are establishing this institution to improve that. Also, in another direction, if you talk about bad labor practices, yes, it's true. We also have to employ people. We have been employed and treated not say 100% good, not even 80%. But we are saying that in this case, we have to bring in other people on board so that they can experience what it means to have an institution, what it means to work with a corporation. So we are doing away with that mentality of not paying people in the media or people who are mentoring others. So we would totally focus on capacity building, and then those who will work with us or who are already working with us will experience the fact that yes, they are working and they should be paid for their services they render to society.
What is different, or what's going to be different from this Liberia Multimedia Institute than other institutions, as compared to other institutions in the country like the Peter Kokwe, Lincoln College, and other vocational institutions that are also offering media related lessons?
Well, the truth is we are not just going to start as other institutions. We are going to build the capacity of the people who have already left those institutions. So for example, we have a lot of institutions in Liberia, that media institutions that are offering journalism and communication, but they are not offering practical. For us now, the new dimension is we have a studio, a practical studio. We have equipment,
like radio equipment.
We have a radio and a television station established already at Ghana's supermarket that is going to take in people. We have equipment that students will take hold of them and practice.
Owned by the Liberia
Multimedia Institute is running a radio station now, and we.
What's the station? What is
the station? Is Queen FM.
Queen's
FM. And
Queen is what? QUEENS.
Yeah, Queen's
FM.
Queen's FM.
What's the frequency?
91.1.
91.1.
And we are running King's TV online.
Government is aware of it?
Yeah, we are registered. We are fully registered, and we have been certificated. That's why we have a frequency already.
So it's going to be solely for training. It's a training radio.
No, we are partnering with the owners of that institution. So we also have a recording studio there.
Recording as in what? Video recording?
Video recording and audio recording. So we are going to focus on audio editing and production. We are going to focus on video editing and production, because people who are journalists in Liberia lack these skills. We also look at graphic design, newspaper layout. Not many people know how to lay out newspaper. We have few people, and then they are not impacting others. We have also what we call the online journalism, where we deal solely with online, and we will also deal with photojournalism and photo editing. You remember that Sanomo, like my father Sanomo, they are getting old in the profession. So for us to bring out or bring up new people, we have to establish such an institution.
Mhm.
Being an expert in these areas, I thought it was that many Liberians, photographers who are on Broad Street need this particular area where they can be journalists, they work for themselves, and they know how to edit their own videos. So we also look at promo ad creation skills where we don't have to run behind one person to do ad for us or promo. So we'll also develop people skills in that area. Look at YouTube and social media content management. You know that people who work as public relation officers for companies that end up being sacked because they don't know how to manage their social media content. Yes, so we are going to teach people. Recently, I had a job with Bragg, and I won an award for their social media page management. So that means that the content people post on social media should be very, very managed. So we're going to build capacity of people in that area. We also deal with filmmaking and movies acting. You know, the theater act we have, the industry we have a virgin industry. The Liberian Movie Union is also part of this particular one. So we're going to teach people how to do script writing, direct movie, and act. Sometimes we ask, what is props? We don't know those things. We don't know props. We don't know makeup. So we're going to
when you say makeup right now, it's like the way our ladies go to the boutique, the beauty salon, by the way, and just do makeup. But that is different from in the movie terminology. Is different.
This makeup it comprises of even your costume, your clothes you wear, how you look to appear on stage, and the screenplay. The screenplay is what the story say, what the story say, and how your dress code should be, because the script writer would describe exactly how the person should look. All right. So in that case, we should have a makeup artist to make the person up. That's why we have the effects. Sometimes if you need someone to cry and the person is unable to cry, so you need blood. Right. So the makeup artist area is that. So we train people how to do makeup as well as props.
With all these things, you've not lined up all of the things. We're going to get back to listing all of the things that you seek to achieve. But with the things you're lining up, it seems you have this dream is really big. I want to know the foundation of this institution. Now you talk about partnering with other institutions, the Liberian Movie Union, Lincoln College, even Peter Kokosu, all the institutions you work with. You're going to reach out to them to see how they can extend support. Let's look at where your school is going to be located. I mean, in terms of building, at first when you start, when you launch it officially and you start to recruit or get students, how many students are you expecting to take, in the first time?
In the first time, we already have people. We have 15 students trained already. Pending.
You've already trained students?
We started 2019 and we have 15 students trained already.
They're
already doing their internship and some of them are already working. So they are pending graduation in December. So the next batch is starting this month. By the 15th, we will be making an announcement to see how best the next batch will start. We presently located in the Ghana's supermarket at the Smosi Market Junction. There is a white story building there where we have secured as our office and training site. We also have equipment, like I said, for the training. So we are fully capacitated in terms of equipment, in terms of the space, the ideal.
How about instructors? How do you get lecturers? Because at this time, I don't know how much you pay your lecturers or so, but how do you get them? Who are the people?
Well, we have people who have been in the media for a while. We have people like...
Are they volunteering?
They are not. They are not volunteering. That's why from my opening statement, I said people should work and get benefit of what they work for.
And you're paying people.
They should be paid. So
how do you raise the money to pay?
How do we raise the money? We have a dream, and the dream have to grow. It's growing. So in terms of that, the training we are offering is not free. It's chargeable. So from there, and we also working together with partners. So the teachers will be paid. So we have people like Teddy Pee-wee. We have like you are one of the instructors already, because I was just about to request for a job. I'm already giving you a job this morning.
No, listen, because you started this thing, and I don't know how far I've gone in this profession. I'm just doing it. I'm not really paying attention to my achievements so far. But I think I can take care of this audio editing and production. So give me a class. Let me see what I can be earning something at the end of the month.
Yeah,
you paid people for almost a year. Now I'm not,
so you get congratulations. You
so
you're already on board.
So I have a job now.
You have a job now.
Yeah, that's a good one. But
so,
but Bidesco, 2019 you started this thing, and I'm just blind. I'm blind in this particular conversation. I'm blind about everything now. I thought you've launched it and all of that. Now you've gone far with it. You're about to graduate students and so. But let's look at the origin of this whole thing, this whole idea. That because usually sometimes when these things are birthed, you started a computer program, I remember, in the Sapiensville era.
That was in 2015.
In 2015, it didn't go, as you expected. It broke down. Of course, failures always associated with people who try to make a difference in life. So how did you derive at this point that there's a need? I set up a multimedia center that people can come. You don't want to do journalism, no problem. Come and do audio editing. Come and do video editing. Come and choose a particular, area. And just, master it and get out. Go and help yourself in the society. How did you, craft this idea? How did you develop it? Who were your partners that you were having conversation with? Who were those motivating you as well?
Well, it started like seeing the need, because I've worked for 15 years in the media, and I've worked with others who, when I get on the computer and they see me working, they say, "Oh, you know how to edit video? I don't know that. I don't have the skill. How can you help me?" And I say, "Okay, we can do this." Okay, I have others who also don't know how to do photojournalism. They don't know how to edit photos. And when I get the camera, I work on the camera. So somebody just told me, say, if you have these skills, you can bring people on board, other people who are skillful like you, and start something. So I started it last year, like 2019, we started, and then we started with 2 students, and the 2 students graduated. That is, they got through with their cycle, although we have not had official program for them, and they are professionals now. One of them is at Truth FM. We have Marka Davis, and Jeff Jefferson as well, and we have a lot of them. We have somebody.
Oh, these are your students.
Yeah, we have a lot of them.
Marka Davis is the news editor there.
Yeah, Marka Davis have been my student. We have Genevieve Sabla, we have Christine, we have others.
Bidesco, there's something I said to you some time ago, that one thing, you may not be a rich man, but I want you to walk in the streets of Monrovia and put your head up high, because you are lucky. You are blessed with, your hands are blessed that you can touch people's lives and something good come out of them. There are people who have taught people in this country, their students are still moving around, but most of the people you have taught, they all come up and they become better people in society. I just want to, congratulate you on that.
Yeah, like you were saying. So looking at that, I sat down with a media expert, like my play mom, I call Winnie from the Inquirer newspaper. I sat with her. I sat with Mark Newa, who we work together at the Public newspaper. I sat with veteran journalists. So I share with them. They say, okay, then craft something and let's look at it. So I came about that. Then they say, okay, now how do we raise the money to start? I said, I don't have nothing, but it's going to work out. So I started buying cameras, one by one, and up to now we have like 10 cameras, good ones that students can use.
So the same thing you used to do in our institution, at some point you use your money to buy things to ensure that students stay in class, even though you were not paid. But when you started your institution, now you had an idea, starting up your institution, you started spending your money buying items gradually to ensure that you get them enough before you start officially.
Yeah, officially. So that's why we're saying, and now we have up to 15 good laptops that we can use apart from desktop for the editing and the areas that need computers. We have like good 15 laptops that are usable. They are good, and we have tripods, we have filters, we have cameras, we have lights, we have everything we talk about here. We have them available for students to practice.
I'm a bit concerned. Now I have a concern. My concern is, now a couple of days ago, I've been providing some correction on social media, right? I wrote 2 words. Though friends don't really go, they don't gain interest in these kind of corrections. Though I didn't mention names of individuals, but many of us in this profession, most especially those of us on the radio, like words, like there are 2 words that mostly we mispronounce. disperse. Disperse is for crowd.
Mhm.
That the crowd gather, police come and disperse them.
Yeah.
But then you will hear a journalist behind a camera saying the police dispersed the crowd.
Disperse, yeah.
Disperse is for money.
Yeah,
It's for,
sharing.
It's a sharing,
Yeah.
right? Let's share this thing.
Scattering is different
Yeah,
from sharing.
scattering.
It's different from sharing.
For sharing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
All right. So, and then another one is specific and Pacific. Pacific is to the ocean,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Pacific.
yeah, Pacific.
And then specific. Now, I'm saying all these things to say that despite the many trainings that are being conducted, it's either we are not speaking English or we are involved into professional transgression. Yet, new institutions are coming up. What do you think is the problem? Is there a problem along the way?
There's a problem. The foundation. Which let's look at the foundation
before the person enrolled in the journalism school.
Okay, I'll tell you that the Ministry of Education have been doing well, is doing well, but the institutions are not doing well. Teachers are underpaid, so they don't spend much time.
So how is the Ministry of Education doing well when the teachers are underpaid?
I have to say that because they will say they are doing well, so I have to follow their tone and say it in that way. Yeah. So teachers are not well paid. Private institutions are not paying. Teachers are underpaid. So they abandon the students, the pupils. They abandon them, and then they let them give them bucket of notes, give them a lot of notes, and then don't focus on their building, the outcome. And at the end of the day, the teachers take money. Corruption is eating the educational sector gradually. And seeing that people are not passing the rightful way or the right way, the paths, the path where you took your own time to pass through, people are not going that way. Now people want to come and graduate. So at the end of the day, when they leave from there, you listen to the students the other day at Lincoln, and you got annoyed because of what they were saying and the dialect they were speaking. Yeah,
dialect, right?
Yeah, so that is it. So now, if they leave from there, the institutions they come in, people listen. When you come for mentorship or you go for mentorship, they expect you to know. All right. So that's what we are saying. If you leave Peter Kuku or leave any of the journalism institution, we will not just send you to the job market. You come back. You will come to us. We improve your capacities. We build you. We have among these courses, or any course you choose here, you have to do English. It's compulsory. If you choose photojournalism, you sit for English class. Because we don't want to send you for internship or you go for job, then they start training you at the job site. The people, they expect you to produce something, but they don't. You are not, this is not the time where we have in-house training. No, the people expect you to come with your skills already, and
to build you up,
along the way, just to introduce you to the equipment, and you pick up from there, right? So that's why we are saying that by the time you come. You sit for, if you say you want to do online journalism, you have to know how to spell, you have to know how to, read well and other things. So we will say, okay, you sit in the English class and then you go through the words. So the lapses in the media, let me say, I will blame the foundation. I'll also blame the media institutions because they don't care.
The media institutions?
They don't care.
It's because they are not paying.
So. They are not paying, so they don't care about even building the capacity of the people who work with them. They just grab people. I graduated from Lincoln College. Yeah, come sit on the radio and work. That's all. First of all, you have to do in-house training. All right? Know where this person is good. What suit them? Are they good at reading announcement, dev announcement, or public service announcement? Are they good at news reading, or they are good at presentation? Are they good in business or marketing? You just grab somebody and say, nowadays where the students we have, everybody want to be heard on the radio. I'm the one that read the news. I'm the one that produced that program. But they don't care about their personal capacity building. So that's the problem.
And how do we tackle this? Because both from the institutions. Now, if you talk about foundation, that is we're going back all the way to the first grade or to the ABC, that the students should start developing themselves. Now you are getting students who are, maybe some of them are 25 or 30 years old. They go to your school and they say they want to do journalism. So for you to go back to develop that person's academic foundation, it's already difficult. So the only thing you have to offer is journalism. And if the person cannot perform in English, I don't know how you also graduate such individuals. So even the vocational institutions, the journalism institutions, the colleges as well, you are producing the people. If you produce a student and the student comes to Sky FM, for example, I graduated from Lincoln College. I did journalism. I did mass communication major and English minor. So the administration will be left to no other option but to accept that, yes, but this guy is already okay because he got a BSc, a Bachelor of Arts degree in mass communication and English. So what do we do? How do we tackle this thing? Both institution as well, media institution, you who are running training institutions. How do we tackle the weaknesses, the challenges we are faced with in the media? It's sometimes appalling. Let me say something, right? We went to a press conference Sunday. A journalist asked this newsmaker, very vocal talking individual, saying, you just have to be specific with us. Be specific on this particular thing. And this guy couldn't mention his words and went for him personally, went for his school, went for the school he graduated, his journalism school, as well as his institution. So with this kind of embarrassment that we continue to be faced with in the media, how do we tackle them? Should we leave the radio and go back to school, or we should stay on the radios and improve ourselves?
We don't have to leave the radios and go back to school, but we have to be on the radio and know where we are good at. If you graduate from a particular institution like you all, and mass communication has department and branches, and so you have to know that, okay, I'm good at writing, but I'm not good at speaking or reading. So my area is newspaper, right? I'm not good at writing. Okay, I will go into editing and production, right? When I have something for reading or to say something that's supposed to be read, I call somebody who is good at that area, and they take me through. You remember that a few weeks ago I called you over for vetting process because some students had to graduate from Lincoln. It's their last semester, so I called you over because vetting is not my area. I am an instructor, but in terms of providing that kind of motivation and other things, you have that power, and you know the rightful words to use in that area. So that's why we should just partner. If your workers at Sky FM a little bit are not meeting the demand or not meeting the professional standards, you call an expert and do in-house training. You don't have to dismiss them. No.
If you dismiss them, you still need people to work.
And
so what you're saying, Bidesco, is that even the institution should also take responsibility for the output
of their workers. Yes. And then they should help them build up their capacities.
I just want you to clear something here, because if you talk about somebody, knowing their area, right? You can talk. If you are a good talker, it means maybe you should consider doing a talk show. But not just talking now. You should have control over the English
research skills
and that analysis as well. So if you're not that person, you read very well, go for the news. If you are someone who writes, well, be writing the stories while your friends read the news as well. Maybe be contributing to a newspaper. But in the end, you just said you're running a multimedia institution. You want people to have too many abilities in the media. How does one become versatile when you're saying to them, find your area and stick to it?
Well, you can learn everything in the media. You can learn everything in the media. You can learn audio, video production, photojournalism. Because nowadays, when you remember the days when you used to hold a camera and another person is holding a microphone, another person is holding a recorder. No, those days are gone. Nowadays, you do everything. Right? So if I'm saying be a multimedia person, that means that the day the presenter is not available, you have to fill in the gap.
Okay.
Right? The day the cameraman is not available, you have to be your own cameraman. and you have to be the person who is interviewing.
Mhm.
All right. So the day the photojournalist is not available, they don't have to pay 10% to work nowadays. They can pay me if I have good salary, I can do all of the work that a photojournalist will do, a writer will do, a presenter will do, and a cameraman will do. Because what? I have the camera, I will take the camera and record the footage from there. I will take the audio from there, send it to the radio. The same pictures or photographs from the camera will be used for the newspaper, and the video will be used for the television and online. So no need of employing
multi-talented.
Yeah, no need of employing 10 person. So if I know how to lay out my own newspaper, I don't have to call you to do my brochure. I can do my brochure. And I sat down and I did this. I did my letterhead and other thing. Gone are the days where you have to go to World Trade Center to tell somebody to do my letterhead. If you are a journalist, you should be able to do script writing. Script writing is part of news writing, right? You should be able to do advertisement and public relation. You should be able to manage social media content. But if you are a journalist and you say you are only a cameraman, and the day there is no camera, what happened? You go home and play Ludo with your children. That means you don't have a job. So if you are multi-talented, right now, I got a contract. I just got a contract last night to do a video documentary. I know it. I write the script. They will send me the page. When they page the story, I will go in now and select my presenter. Maybe I will also contact you to
but let's share. Let's share.
Yeah,
let's share.
to voice
let's share
to voice it out for me.
Yeah,
right?
my voice, I'm trying to train it to make it.
So when I was working for the French news agency, Olin Kopo, I was the photo and text correspondent for Liberia during the 2017 election, and Olin Kopo was the video, and then Zoom Donzo was the radio man, the Radio France International. How did I get that job? Because I knew how to shoot photograph. I knew how to take camera and then they send their equipment. I took the camera and to operate the camera. And yes, the guy said, yes, yes. VOA came here, they took me straight off from Africa. Yeah, Steve came here and I had his camera and I was making.
And you operated?
I was making 150 a day. Right?
And you
that 150 a day is somebody 3 months salary in the media.
Exactly.
And I work for 2 weeks. So imagine I use $50 a day and I save $100.
Right? Now, but the thing is, you came from the newspaper. I remember the New Voice newspaper at the time.
I started from Star Radio.
Yeah, Star Radio days. And so, but I actually admire your stories in the New Voice newspaper with Paul Yenny Harris, when Paul Yenny Harris was running that. And so I don't know why he closed that, very good newspaper. And you were doing a lot of critical writings. And so you transitioned. I heard you one day on radio. I said, but Bidesco is doing newspaper. And here he's presenting agriculture program on ELBC. Yeah. And then if you go check, he's doing video editing.
That is multimedia.
Multimedia. Now,
it's called the new media. In the new media, you have to have the skills. Where there is a need, you fill in the gap. You don't have to be limited to newspaper writing. You write for newspaper, you write for television, you write for radio, you write for magazines. That is the new media.
And that's what
we want to bring to Liberia. And that's what we have started. Because if you can remember very well, you remember there was a time you needed editing skills.
Yeah.
And you came around and say, okay, then now you have a job now. You are about to start teaching editing. So we are in a new media.
I tell you, well, folks, this is a very very interesting conversation here with a former lecturer, and now he is he has established an institution of his own. He said our institution. It's my institution as well. It's called the Liberia Multimedia Institute. I cannot wait to go down on my knees and pray that this institution goes international, because multimedia, that's the way now. That's the direction that the media practitioners, all of us, should go. Let's have a conversation with you. What are your recommendations? What are your suggestions, if I may? Better still, what concerns do you have? Do you want to appreciate the man? Do you want to support him? While we are doing that, let me ask him one question before we take the first call. You talk about partnership. You're partnering with other institutions. But one part of it that you didn't clear for me is that how do you generate resources for, to pay the instructors that you have paid to train the first batch of students that you have?
Well, it's from my pocket, from my savings. We have been managing our little resources, our income. We manage so that we empower others. So through our little saving, we've been able to get some equipment, cameras, lights, microphones, everything,
and some step. Should we call it salary or stepping?
Stepping for now.
Yeah, for now.
Okay.
But how about now? So you've interacted with a number of people, right?
Yeah.
Even the international journalists. You talk about Viore, and so do you have plan to communicate with them about what you are starting up here?
Yeah, we are already in communication. I wrote series of communication with friends and partners, and then we also looking forward for partnership. We will also be going into accountability films that speak of corruption in the educational sector and other things. So we're also looking forward for a partnership with the Accountability Lab. We have talked with the executive director, Lawrence, and then we're trying to get closer to each other to see what we can do. We're also in partnership with the Press Union of Liberia because they are the mother organization.
Yeah.
As a media development organization, we are a member, and we are going to work with the Press Union, the Reporters Association, as well as the Female Journalists Association and other institutions as well. And then we also run those services to institutions like in-house capacity building and other things. So it will be great for us to have anyone out there who would need our services. So we are open for discussion or partnership, and anyone who wants to also sponsor us, we highly appreciate you. But we don't want the type of sponsorship, political sponsorship.
You don't want sponsorship from a politician?
No, we don't want political sponsorship.
What do you mean?
That we should run campaign for you and you sponsor us. That is political sponsorship.
Okay, all right.
If you're a politician, you sponsor us, we will take it. But don't expect us to vote for you because you sponsor us, or to encourage our students to vote for you. No.
Okay.
That's political sponsorship.
Thank you so much, folks. You're there. You're listening to us. You're following us via social media, Facebook, Sky Communications Liberia Facebook page, and our YouTube channel as well, Sky FM and TV Liberia. If you're there, you have interest in the conversation, please drop your comments. We're certainly going to read them out for you. But until then, let's hear from you now. We're talking education, multimedia. Call us on 0777 777 107, 0777 777 107, 0777 221 Let's hear from this first person. Good morning.
Good morning, Matthias.
Good morning, sir. Let's hear you.
And good morning to your many listeners. I'm Amos Kemoka. I do join you from Portland, Africa.
Amos Kemoka, go ahead.
I enjoyed the show this morning. Thank you, guys, for the presentations. And thank you to the big brother for his hard work. I would like to appreciate him for his talent effort. I want him to please locate me where the school is, because then I can take a drive to go see how best for the way forward.
All right, the way forward you want to, okay, no problem. Thank you so much, Kemokai. Now, Kemokai, the school is located at Small St. Michael Junction, Gardner's View Supermarket, Chippenese Freeway. Let's hear from this person. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Kemayan.
Not bad, Labine. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, welcome to the studio guest.
Thank you.
He has spoken well. I think this multimedia, he has spoken good about the journalism and the journalistic landscape. That others are professionals who are qualified in certain areas. You know what good you are for, go into that area. But again, I think we should look into the international media coverage, like the BBC journalists. Some are specific journalists that will cover medical, legal, or other technical areas. I think this is where training will be solicited from international partners to train people, like whether they should be lawyers to cover legal issues, or whether they should be medical, medical knowledge to cover medical issues. And the second thing is, on the print media, we have certain courage on the local print media. Prints are not clear. Sometimes we have interest in the stories. We suffer it to get the end of that story. So I think you are in the versatile era training. You should send a message to other local print outlets so that they can improve on their print.
Thank you.
And we'll have the messages. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kimayan, for your interest in our profession. Let's hear from this other person. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mataya.
Good morning, sir. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I'm Nelson from Capital Bypass.
Nelson, please go ahead from Capital Bypass.
Yeah, I want to thank the full different forces of education system.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to ask you, when you are students from the Peter Cook can you see the internship at this institution? Because at this year, you say that you are to.
Sorry, you have to speak up. Or I don't know. You're coming in, broken.
No, my question is, can a student from the Peter University of Nursing see an internship at this institution?
Mm.
And my second question is, it is also a battle that you send a specific invoice to the journalism.
If you are doing internship?
Yes, it is. My second question is, it is a battle to be a media practitioner. It is a battle of a young person in the media field that you should have said was specific, like news everything, or the same just a population of accidents.
Okay, thank you. That's a good question. Well, anyway, he's going to play with that too. Let's hear from another person. Call us on the numbers 0777-777-107, 0777-221-223. Are the numbers you can call us and to participate if you are a journalist, a young journalist doing internship somewhere. Is it advisable that you stick to a particular area in the profession? Well, I want to say yes. He's going to expand on that. I want to say yes, it's better that you stick to a particular area. When I came from me personally, I just want to read news, because the first time I read news, the teller, I put me on the radio, read news, says, son, you have a voice. Keep reading my news, and I just want to stick to that. But when I reached a certain area, I realized that, well, I think I can talk. Maybe I can speak better English. Let me try something. And I started doing talk shows. So I do, versatility. Yeah, we're getting versatile gradually. But while you specializing, it's also good for you to do versatile. Let's hear from the last person. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Let's hear you.
All right, thank you. This is George. I call from Woking.
Mr. Flomo, go ahead.
Yeah, let me say thanks to my prof. This morning I kind of broken because I'm a student of the Peter Cook School of Journalism, and when I entered in the first level, Peter Cook came to us and to us that we should start a practice because we will meet up with him right in level 3, which of course I'm already there. Trying to listen today and hearing that he will not be present again. I really want him just end the year with us. I think after graduation, then he can try to move on.
Oh my man, man, I'm running away back. What are you crying for?
No,
we're not going.
Because Matthias, they already told us what we should expect before us, and now in level 3, then he's going away. So it's sad for us.
I'm not going away. I'm still with Peter Cook. I'm an instructor. I'm a trainer there, and my contract have not expired, and I'm not resigning now.
All right. So I think you have a pat on the back now. Thank you so much. Thanks to all of you who participated. That's the beauty. If you are not a good classroom teacher, no student will be happy to see you. I was excited when you reached out to me, say, can I talk about my institution on your program? I said, well, I don't own Sky FM, but listen, come, let's talk about it. In fact, we want us to do it like 3, 4, 5 times, no problem. Let's talk about it until you can get all the support that you need to run that institution, because I know I have a job there as well. There you have it, Peter Scott.
Right,
have the young man who called, if you
are in Peter Cook or left Peter Cook already and you have not done your internship, just tell the institution, Tatos Tuba, who happens to be.
No, what is concerned about if you're doing internship? Is it advisable that you specialize, you stick to a particular thing?
What you do is, let me say yes, you can specialize. For me now, I'm a specialized. I have a specialized area, but it doesn't mean that I can do anything or I can do all things in the media, right? So you can be specialized if you are good at reading, be a good reader, continue reading. But the day a talk show host don't appear, you have to replace them or sit in for them.
Deadline pressure.
Yeah. So that is it. So, and then he talked about internship. Yes, you are welcome. Just your institution have to write us, and then we'll receive the letter, review it, and then we'll look at your performance, and then we can bring you on board. And for my brother, who called and said the newspapers, we what happened is the people you see reporting health matters are people who study journalism and wanting to do medical studies. So you hear them, our health correspondent, our media, our political analysts, these are politicians who study journalism. So we too here in Liberia, we have to come up to be people, because we have judicial reporters, right? They report on judicial matters because they know their jargons. If they say litigation, I don't know nothing. They call litigation, defending, offending. I don't know them.
Offended.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know those jargons. So there should be people in that particular area. We have legislative reporters, right? So they know what is section, what is concurrent, what is so they know their jargon. So in that area, you yourself, you can find yourself. So journalists in Liberia should know. We should have agriculture reporters, people who specialize in agriculture issue or agriculture stories. We should have climate change or environmental reporters. We should have labor reporters, people who report on labor matters. So that is it. If you want to be specialized in a particular sector, you can do that, but you can be a multimedia journalist, because you cannot be a public relation officer for the Ministry of Labor and you don't know how to shoot a video, you don't know how to edit. You have to contract take somebody from outside and bring them in to edit for you. At the end of the day, you will share your salary, because the institution will not pay that person. You have to, because the institution expect you to have all these skills. So that's why we are here. So that is it.
Thank you so much, Bidesco, for coming in this morning. And we just hope that you get all of the support that you need to ensure that you get your institution running, to the fullest.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks to the many callers. Thanks to the listeners as well. And we hope that we will be here the next time again. But remember that recruitment is on now for the second batch. The recruitment started on Monday. It continued up to the 15th. And then we will also make announcement by the word of Sky FM. And then we will begin the cycle. So we look forward for partnership. We look forward for sponsorship. And we know that Sky FM is going to give us another opportunity in time to come to appear again to talk about multimedia and also other issues relating to media development in Liberia.
Thank you so much. He's Bidesco Ementume. He's the founder and executive director of the newly, Multimedia Institute. It's called Liberia Multimedia Institute, LMR Incorporated. And his envisioning is to take it international. While we were closing the program, I keep watching this video here of Joseph Famule, our Liberian brother who participated in the Olympic, and Joseph is eating his cassava leaves. Trust me, Joseph is back in Liberia. Is it back in Liberia or is it in America? Where? Somewhere, right? No, not here. Sorry, not here. But Joseph is eating cassava leaves. I think according to the information, that's why Joseph was requesting for that. In the end, Joseph will need to eat cassava leaves. I just want to quickly leave you with this message. You want to get in touch with the Liberia Multimedia Institute, contact these numbers: 0776 535707, 0776 535707, 0886 535703. Not 07, sorry. It should be 0776 535703. 0776 535703 is the same as 0886 535703. My name is Matthias Labindi. Have yourselves a wonderful time.
I'm talking about Patricia Highsmith, the American writer who died in 1995, but if she'd lived, would have been 100 years old this year. Her first novel in 1951, Strangers on a Train, found fame as a Hitchcock movie, the story of a devious sociopath